Hey everybody, what's happening? It's Elgin here over at eXp Realty. Here we're to the holiday season and doing our thing, but I got something important I want to talk to you guys about. I want to talk to you guys this is for my real estate business people. This is for my independent contractors. There's certain things that you need to do in sustaining yourself, building your business, and building wealth. I'm learning these things as well as we go. Not doing them perfectly, but doing them better. So one, when you are running your business, you need to also be running it for cash flow purposes. So if you run your business for cash flow purposes, you really need to focus on your transactions. You need to prioritize closing your deals, of course, and as quickly as possible for immediate income. You want to make sure you've got short-term goals. You want to make sure that you've got long-term goals, quarterly income targets, annual income targets. You're also looking at client acquisition. What I mean by client acquisition, invest your money in the lead generation, marketing, networking. You got to keep your pipeline full. Obviously, you want to be more efficient. So systems, organization, you want to minimize your overhead and yet maximize your profits. All right. Upselling. In the real estate game, upselling might mean property management. It might be commercial if you're only doing residential. Referrals. You want to do any of these types of things so that you are again doing, that so that you're doing your thing. And lastly, well, not lastly, two things left: budgeting. Make sure you properly budget so you can track your expenses versus your cash flow. And reinvestment. You want to always make sure you're reinvesting a portion of your cash flow into business growth. So better tools, staff, virtual assistants, whatever, training. You need to do those things. Now here's where we start to really get into it, though, is as much as cash flow goes, you want to do like people that are rich. You want to do like a Rothschild or a Hilton or a Carnegie. You want to take your cash flow and monies, and you want to buy assets. And you really want to buy hard assets if you can. And assets meaning you want them to outpace inflation. Okay, your assets need to outpace inflation and give you more purchasing power. So I'm talking about things like stocks and bonds, BTC, crypto. I'm talking about BTC in particular, because that's where my knowledge is in that. You're talking about gold, other types of precious metals, whatever it is that you get into, study, and can learn, but you want them to appreciate over time. You want them to appreciate over time, and again to outpace inflation, because you can outpace inflation. It will again give you more purchasing power in the future. Oh, and needless to say, of course, for me, I always think you need to invest in real estate in some sort of manner. All right, and that's for us real estate agents as well. You also want to make sure that you leverage. You use tools like loans or margins, but do that carefully with appreciation assets. There's some assets you can borrow against so that you don't have to sell them. You don't want to get yourself into trouble to where you get margin calls and any of that, but you want to learn that as a tool. Make sure that you stay educated. You're educated on different market trends and what the direction of your assets are going in. Make sure you learn as much as you can in investing in those assets so that you can have the conviction to stay in them longer than to make them just short term. These are not short term flip things when I'm talking about these types of assets. You want to have tax efficiency. You are going to have tax consequences. So you want to make sure that you set yourself up in the best possible ways to pay as least amount of taxes as you can legally. I know illegal is a little popular right now, but but legally. All right, keep yourself out of trouble. You also too want to look at maybe there's some fixed income stuff as you get older, stuff that you know is paying dividends, things like that, where there's money. Bottom line, there's residual and there's money that's coming in all of the time. So that now all of a sudden you're getting different streams of income, but your business and or your job is cash flowing that. So now can you imagine if your business also provides you with a residual. If it provides you with a residual, so now you can use the cash flow to do a lot of stuff that we're talking about, and then you can do the residual to build up against on the side. What if your cash flow was able to take care of your monthly needs, et cetera, and to be able to fund some of your investments? But what if you had residual income that you could take, and that residual income could buy hard assets and really put you over the top? So anyway, there's some things to think about. I know I gave you a mouthful, but let's start thinking bigger. Let's start thinking brighter. Let's start thinking like business people. Let's start thinking like corporations, multi-million dollar, billion-dollar, trillion-dollar corporations. And if we can do some of those principles ourselves, where will it take for us? Where would it be for our families? Where would it be for our children, grandchildren, and those coming behind us? All right, everybody. God bless. Remember, we're here. We're grinding. We're working. We're hustling. Talk to you in the future.